Right then, Hickory golf. What's in the bag? That's something you see a lot of tour players do on TV, telling you what they've got in their golf bag. So I'm going to go through my bag here now, so you get an idea of what I've got in the bag. You can get away with probably about 5 or 6 clubs in your golf bag if you're playing Hickory. You don't really need that many. I've got quite a few in the bag, got about 10 today, 10, 11 clubs, but I don't use them all when I'm actually out playing. So we'll start with the most lofted ones. And in the bag, I've got a couple of Niblicks. Niblicks is sort of the equivalent of your modern day kind of wedge. They're pretty high lofted boys here. I've got one which is about 55 degrees, that's equivalent to your kind of modern kind of sand wedge, and I've got a 50 degree here which is pretty much equivalent to your modern day pitching wedge. So that's my Niblicks. So they're kind of like the first clubs in the bag, and they're obviously, the soles of the clubs are much thinner, they're going to dig a little bit more in the ground, and as you realise they're obviously much heavier as well. That is because of the weight of the shafts. So that's my Niblicks there, that's my first 2 clubs in the bag. From there I've got a Mashi, well, I've got 2 or 3 Mashi Niblicks actually. Take them out here. I've got 1, 2, I've got another one somewhere else. There we go. So I've got like a spade Mashi, and I've got a couple of Mashi Niblicks. And basically you're just going through the bag the same way as you do with the modern clubs. You're decreasing the angle. So I've got this spade Mashi Niblick here, which is a bit more sort of squarish in its sort of look, and then that's the equivalent of about a 9 iron. Then I go down to the equivalent of my 8 iron and 7 iron, shall we say. So that's my, going from Mashi Niblicks to my Mashis. Hit one of them for you. Lovely club to hit. Probably one of my favourites, this one actually. Probably hit most shots with this one. So give it a crack with this. Lovely shot again. Beautiful. And then we get into the sort of longer clubs, which are a little bit harder to hit obviously. And in my bag I've got a equivalent about 30 degrees, sort of something like a modern day 6 iron, I suppose you would say, and that's one of my Mashis there. Then I sort of go into my mid irons. I've got a 25 degree here, which is about the equivalent of about 4 iron roughly. Call that my mid iron. And I've even got this bad boy here, which has got about 17 degrees on it, and that is my driving iron. As I said, I don't use all of the clubs all the time on the course, but that's how my iron set looks in the bag. You could probably get away with just using maybe a mid iron, a Mashi Niblick and a Niblick. Say 4 iron clubs would be enough for you, to be quite honest. Together with that, obviously, you've probably got the most important club in the bag, and that is the putter. You'll find with the putters, the old Hickory putters, is that the lofts tend to be a little bit too much because the greens obviously were not as good shape as they are today. So you might want to take a little bit loft off your putter because of the fact that our greens are now much shorter cut, and the ball rolls a bit better than it did in the old days. We finish off with the woods here, and I've got 3 woods here in the bag. Don't usually have 3 woods in the bag, it was just to show you a bit of difference here. I've got a 20 degree wood here, which is, I use that in trouble situations. I've used it from the tee as well. Lovely club to strike a golf ball with. That's my sort of a little spoon there. And then I've got a couple of brasses in the bag, which I vary between. I've got an Anderson from St Andrews here, which is a lovely piece of wood. Great club to hit. I use that quite a lot from the tee. And my last club in the bag, the one I use most of the time, is my is the equivalent, I suppose, a bit like a driver. It's my brassy, my stronger brassy, shall we say. It's got about 11.5 degrees of loft on it. It's a pretty heavy bad boy, not easy to hit, but I love hitting shots with it. We'll give a crack with one of them then. I'll just give it a swish. So that's basically my set. As I said, I don't use all of the clubs all of the time. This is all of the ones I have. And what I do is I just pick clubs out of the bag depending on where I'm playing and what kind of ground I'm playing from. So that's my brasses, my spoons, my putter, my Niblicks, my mashie niblets, my mashies, my mid irons, my long irons, and maybe even a driving iron. So that's the set that I actually play with when I play the Hickory game of golf. Maybe take your time to put together a good set, and probably need to change the grips on most of them. I've got nice calfskin leather grips on these ones, great feel in them, and other than that, you should be able to pick up a reasonably good set on eBay or somewhere like that for a reasonably good price as well. So that's my golf set, and that is my golf bag by David Kirkham.